Kaylie Harris was just 21 years old when she decided to take her life at the military base she was stationed at in Anchorage, Alaska. This happened on May 2nd of 2021. She had been a soldier for less than a year when she died via suicide. Hey everybody, what's up and welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Liz, and today we're going to be discussing the suicide of Kaylie Harris. This, again, just like the Tyler Long video, is a very sensitive case. So if you are very sensitive when it comes to the ideation of suicide in LGBT youth, you can click out of this video or you can just listen on with it. With that being said, this is a tough one. The documentary I watched featuring this case was I cried a lot when I watched this, because you see Kaylie's mother Carrie and you feel very like your heart hurts watching this. So days after Kaylie's suicide, her mother Carrie learned that Kaylie filed a sexual assault complaint on another service member at the base that she was stationed at. This complaint happened 10 days prior to her coming out as being a lesbian on social media. She was very happy to post about it, that she came out, she was able to finally let her freak flag fly. Now, unfortunately, on January 30th of 2021, she would be attacked by somebody she thought was her friend, a fellow air serviceman. When she filed the claim, the military investigated the assaults that happened against her. However, her mental state had started to deteriorate and she was distancing herself from her loved ones. So it's totally normal for this to happen for an abuse victim, that they will distance themselves from people that are close to them because they don't feel comfortable enough to talk to them anymore. It's a normalcy that happens. A lot of people don't understand this initial grieving process right after an attack. So she did express her thoughts of self-harm to the doctors that she saw and to her superiors, of which they tried to counsel her and they put her under a do not arm order. Basically, a do not arm order means that she is not allowed to carry any weapon whatsoever while on the base. So they also placed a protective order for her against the person that attacked her. That way it would put distance between them because they were on the same base. But this didn't do anything to help. Kaylie was taken off of the do not arm list. I don't know why. This is totally baffling to me as to why they would do this. Also, this actually allowed her to become in contact with the person that attacked her. They were put into the same training. So that protective order basically was violated with this training. The other shocking misstep that happened, other than them being in the same training session, is that they were allowed to still be on the same base as one another until she died, and with the protective order in place. I don't know why they thought this was okay, but it's not okay at all whatsoever. It's not. So there is a lot of lack of judgment on the military's behalf when it comes to her death. So they violated her protective order. They took away a do not arm order. They also allowed the person that attacked her to stay on the same base as her, and they did not remove her from the base. That way she could properly heal. They allowed her to have a handgun. They allowed this to happen. They took her off of the do not arm order. They allowed her to come face to face with her attacker. They basically allowed her to kill herself. After her encounter with her attacker, she went and bought a handgun. She also wrote her suicide note. In her suicide note, she reflected on her attacker, named him as well, showed and basically stated that this person showed her how dark a person can be and how they easily can just hurt others for their own pleasure. So in the military's code of injustice, it does not have laws against hate crimes. So Kaylie being a out lesbian, this would be a hate crime. And Kaylie's mom, is fighting to change the LGBT troops laws. That way it covers more. There's more equality in the military. So Carrie believes that Kaylie's attacker also should be charged with a hate crime because basically this led up to Kaylie's suicide. I agree. And that it was Kaylie's multiple rapes by this said person that brought her to the point where she needed to commit suicide because she could not stand being here anymore because she was in so much pain. And yes, I said multiple rapes. This person did not just rape her once. So there is a spokesperson that did confirm that her case is still an active investigation, and that the commanders on the base said that they placed Kaylee's attacker in another like duty area so that they could complete the investigation, and that the protective order would ensure that there was no contact, even though they were still on the same base and they still went to the same training and they were in contact with one another. So what are you guys' thoughts about this true crime case? I wanted to add this because it's not just an LGBT case, it's a recent case, and it also involves the United States military, specifically the Air Force. So what are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments down below. I would love to know. Again, you can also look up other videos about Kaylie Harris's murder and really listen to what Kaylie Harris has to say, because it's really heart-wrenching. But that, my friends, is the suicide of Kaylie Harris. I hope you guys learned a little bit from today's true crime case, and I will see you guys in another one.